All right, time now to bring in our Giants analyst, Paul Dottino, who joins us via the video call center. Paul, Reimers played for Carolina when Dave Gettleman was a GM there. And over his last 5 years, when you count his run with the Vikings, he has started 71 straight games. What does his acquisition mean potentially for the Giants?
Well, he's a scrapper, Bill. If I can go back a little ways into the Giants archives, you guys probably remember left tackle Brad Benson, who played for the 1986 Super Bowl champs. Not the most athletic, not the strongest guy, but you know what? A scrapper, a fighter who will do anything that he can to keep you from getting to the ball carrier. That's the kind of guy they're getting in Mike Remmers, only he's a right tackle instead of a left tackle. But his style of play is indicative of the kind of culture that both Pat Shurmur, the head coach, and GM Dave Gettleman want to instill with the Giants. Overachievers, blue-collar guys who will blood, sweat, and cry to try to get a win.
Now, they've rebuilt this offensive line. There's no question about it. It was something that David Gettleman talked about doing. How soon will we see Reimers on the field?
Oh, I think you're going to see him sometime during training camp, Alan. I would be very surprised that the Giants, if they did not do an extensive medical report on him. Remember, minor back surgery at the end of last season, came in for a physical 24 hours or so after he asked the Vikings to cut him. Remember, Minnesota wanted him to take a pay cut and stay on the team. He said, no, I'm not interested in a pay cut. I want to be a starting right tackle in this league again. I'd like to go somewhere where I can earn that spot. So he asked for his release. They gave it to him. And immediately his first place of visitation was the Giants. The Giants said, all right, he looks pretty good here, but strengthen that back a little bit more before we're willing to take the plunge and actually spend the money to sign you. And that is what has happened. He came back after a couple of more months of rehab, and he's now a member of the team.
Paul, OTAs begin on Monday. What are you going to be looking for first and most?
Well, remember now, OTAs, that's the first time that the offense and the defense can actually interact with each other on the practice field during the offseason program. They will wear helmets, but no pads and no contact. So clearly, Bill, anything that involves contact, you know, the defensive line, the offensive line, the fullbacks, the linebackers, there's really nothing much to see because they're just wearing helmets with just, you know, shirts and shorts. So what you will be looking for is how does the secondary, especially all these new kids that they've got, remember they drafted 3 rookie corners in this draft. How well do they perform? Do they anticipate the ball well? Do they show good hands? Do they show shadow coverage skills? Do the wide receivers run good, crisp routes? Do they show good hands? And, of course, how does Daniel Jones and Eli Manning throw the football? Eli has been throwing it extremely well in the last month or so since the offseason program started. And Daniel Jones, he's only been here for about a week or so during the rookie sessions. He looked like he was throwing the ball extremely well. So those are the kinds of things that folks will be looking at on Monday.
Paul, that's where I was going to go next is, are we going to – I remember this during training camp where we'd keep stats on the quarterbacks. That's how insane it would get when nobody's wearing pads, but we're always keeping the stats on completions and everything else. Are we going to do that, or are we going to count how many times Daniel Jones gets to work with some ones? Is it going to really be a competition, you think, just because of his presence and obviously Eli?
Well, let me answer that in 2 ways, Alan. First of all, there is no competition for the number 1 spot. It is Eli Manning's job, period. And Daniel Jones is simply going to be worked in as a backup. Will he get some reps with the ones? Maybe they'll give him a few just for confidence sake to let him throw with some of the stars on this team. But in all honesty, he is here to hold the clipboard as a rookie. I don't think the Giants have made any secret about that. Now, as far as the coverage, you and I both know that the newspaper folks, they can't wait. Every single time Daniel Jones even ties his shoe, they're going to be marking it down and clicking it out. That's just the way it is. It's New York. You fellas know.
All right, Paul, thanks so much. Hopefully he'll be able to tie his shoes and a lot more when everyone sees him next week. For more great videos from the MSG 150, check out right there. And remember, our show is on Monday through Thursday, 8 to 10:30 p.m. on MSG Network and MSG Go.